Good afternoon. My name is Marissa Del Aguila Vienrich, and I'm one of the crime analysts here at the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. As a crime analyst, our main objective is to gather statistics and analyze data. Since January 2024, I am happy to report that violent crime for the Sheriff's Office has decreased by 19% and property crime has decreased by 8%. And the Winston-Salem Police Department is reporting that in 2023, they had 42 homicides, followed by 29 in 2024, and thus far year to date, they've had 4. In total, WSPD reports that in 2023, they had 1,768 violent crimes. In 2024, they had 1,617, and year to date, they're at 563. If you have any questions, please contact media@fcso.us. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming. I appreciate you all coming. I want to thank my partners in crime prevention with Salem Police Department. Chief Penn is out of town. I want to thank him for the work that we do collectively together. I want to thank the men and women of the WSPD, Chief Diamond, Captain Swain, all of you all for what you do, as well as the members of the FCSO District Attorney's Office, and Mr. Joe O'Neill. You know, a lot of things are happening in our community. And as I was sitting and we were going through some of the data, I wanted to share where we are in our community. I know a lot of things are, what I would say, have the possibility for happening in the downtown area. A lot of questions that we get is, well, if you're putting resources in the downtown, what about the rest of the area? So we wanted to share with you what is going on, the statistics, and what is the plan for the summer as we move forward. And the plan is that we want to ensure that this community, the numbers that you heard, are a result of the holistic approach of the community. We didn't get here solely by ourselves. We got here by participation from the community. We got here from a lot of things that we have done collectively together. And so as we go forward into the summer, our plan is to continuously work with the Winston-Salem Police Department, Kernersville Police Department, and keeping this entire county safe. The other part of the thing we want to do, school is getting out. We're about to approach the beginning of the summer. And so as we approach the beginning of the summer, one of the things we want to do is lay out a plan that we're constantly working on with Chief Penn and his team as to how we can increase visibility throughout the entire city as well as the county, looking at areas that may pose a problem as we move into the summer. Also looking at plans how we can stop some of the things before they happen. I could not do this without Mr. O'Neill and his team. It has been truly a partnership. I thank you for the partnership you've done to support Winston. I know that a lot of things are happening, a lot of moving parts are happening. I encourage you to stay with this run because we need you. I need everybody in this room to change and to make sure that these numbers continuously decline. I know that the budget is a hot spot. I know some of you all may have some questions about the budgeting. You know, what I say, I saw the article in the paper on the news about the money, the situation with the SROs. What I can assure you is that the SROs will continuously work 12 months out of the year. We will utilize them throughout the entire county, throughout the entire city, whether it's at parks and recreation. What I can assure you is that this is a team effort. And none of us that wear a star or even a shield in this for the money. We in this because we love serving the community. So I'd like to do, before I go any further, before we close out, and allow you to ask questions. I'm sure you got some questions. You know, we were having a conversation upstairs, you know, what are some of the possible questions that they may ask the media? And what I said to my team, I said, whatever they want to ask, let them ask the question. If we have an answer, we'll have it. And if we don't, we'll get back with them later. So, Mr. O'Neill, without further ado, I appreciate you. Sure. No, thank you.
Good afternoon. First, let me say I'm delighted and honored to be a part of the crime-fighting team here in Forsyth County, which is comprised, of course, of the Sheriff's Department, our men and women in blue, Kernersville Police Department. I'm humbled that you would ask me to continue to run again. Thank you for that. When most of us, our families, go home at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, that's when law enforcement is getting ready for their evenings and their weekends. And the job that our city does, the job that our county, our deputies do to keep us safe so that we can put our head down at night and sleep peacefully it's just amazing. So thank you, Sheriff Kimbrough, for your folks, the city. Thank you for keeping us safe at night, keeping our kids safe and our community safe. There is a lot going on in our community right now. It's obviously very public what's happening over the school system, and that is not what we want to see happen, being in that kind of deficit. But it's encouraging when you hear that crime is down in this community. They're doing a great job, law enforcement, of keeping us safe. Over at the courthouse, over the last 30 to 60 days, we've successfully tried 2 murder cases. We've tried child rape cases. We've tried robbery cases. And it's because the men and women in law enforcement are putting together great cases and handing to our prosecutors. So we are very humbled to be part of such a great team effort here with the city and the county and Kernersville. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it back to Sheriff Kimbrough.
So before I open the floor for questions, one thing I want to reiterate, and that is the importance of the community. Important to let them know that we will be working in conjunction to not be out here to stop anyone from enjoying their summer. The kids, I saw kids this weekend as I was downtown. I saw people going about enjoying that, and that's what we want. We just want to ensure that the community is safe. I want to thank the community for the support. I want to thank you all because, as Mr. O'Neill said, there's a lot of things going on in our community, a lot of negative conversation, a lot of gloom and doom, and I just want to ensure the public and the community that we are stable, and we will be here, and we will be here to ensure the safety of this entire community. And so with that, I'll be quiet and I'll open the floor for a question or 2 or 3, and then I'll get out of your way, and I thank you in advance. Yes, sir.
Well, what specifically is the plan for downtown? You mentioned, and I believe there weren't any incidences this past weekend, but what is the plan? Is it merely just more officers, and a heightened presence, or is there something else that you all have in mind to try to maybe divert these folks to do something else besides congregating downtown?
So I can't speak for the other plan or to convert them somewhere else. What I can speak to is the promise that I made to my partner in crime prevention, Chief Penn. What I committed to him was that I would be here with him as long as he needed me. If that meant the entire summer, if that meant utilizing, as you know, most people know that you've been watching the news or watching public conversations about SROs, you know, school system paid for 10 months, but they work 12 months, however they work that out. We will be utilizing our SROs in various capacities as the summer moves along. So the plan from the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office is to give Winston whatever they need from us. Me and Chief Penn have been having a lot of conversation. Matter of fact, we were in conversation yesterday on another matter. But the plan is to make sure that Winston is covered, whether that be downtown Winston, whether that be Walltown, whether that be South Side, East Side, whatever. Because I know a lot of times people say, well, you put your resources downtown. Why down there when there are other parts of the city that may need resources? So he and I are going to look at the plan when he returns, but I can assure you what you saw this weekend, if you ever came through downtown, you saw a lot of officers and deputies downtown. You will see much of the same as the days come and go.
There was some talk at the last news conference, I guess that was last Monday, that y'all were considering a curfew. So is that off the table now, or is that still part of the plan?
I don't have the authority to make a curfew. If I did, you probably would have one, but I don't have that authority. I try to stay in my lane. That's up to, I guess, county commissioners and city council. However, I think that I'm believing and I'm claiming that I think that the problem has really I think the problem will take care of itself. I think when people see that there's extra uniforms in downtown Winston, a presence, statistically, the statistics and the data will show that anytime there's a presence, a high presence of law enforcement, there's a decrease in what would be incidents. And so I think that having a high presence in downtown Winston-Salem throughout this city is going to make a difference.
So countywide violent crime is down, but as far as downtown Winston is concerned, which I know that's not, that's, cheap in, we talked about possibly charging parents for their child's deviant behavior last week. Are we going to move forward with that, or is that still kind of an option on the table that we're talking about?
As far as charging parents, I think you saw the city this week began that process. They charged some parents who were allowing their kids to ride ATVs down Stratford Road and on the Greenway. That is certainly part of my plan. I encourage law enforcement to look at those opportunities where we feel the parents are being neglectful and turning the kids loose in the streets, where the kids are going to get hurt. I said this last week when we talked about a curfew. It's not designed to punish, but it's designed to protect the welfare of juveniles. And being unsupervised at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning or riding down Stratford Road on an ATV is likely to get the child hurt. And so we will take steps that we feel are necessary to protect the juveniles.
Were they on scooters out there? Those on scooters, are they still deactivated or not? Because I think I saw, this was an adult though. I saw someone ride down Marshall Street with one.
My understanding is that they are disconnected or deactivated weekend nights.
Weekend nights,
Right?
right.
Yeah, confirmed.
For either one of y'all, what do you owe the statistics? What do you owe that downturn in violence, crime, and property crime in the county too?
I'm sorry. I owe it to the work that the men and women of the police department, the men and women of the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office. I think that when you have a community, what I call community credibility, when the community believes in the men and women that serves, then you're starting to shape an attitude. I think that some of the programs that Winston has stood up, the sheriff's office has stood up, involving young men and women. One of the programs that they have stood up, one of the programs that we're standing up this summer, where we're bringing kids here, we're going to pay them every week $100 to come and work here, right? So I think that by doing programs like that and involving yourself in the community, that has been a game changer. Also the hard work, the work that the men and women do. People don't see the work that goes on behind the scene. You see me, you see him, you see the folk in these suits and, with the brass on, but there's a whole army or platoon of people that are out there on the streets tonight in the real-time intelligence center, in the real-time intelligence center here. And so I think that there's a plethora of things that go in that has caused the numbers to go as if they're going. And also, I just think that the people in this community appreciate, and the message is starting to resonate.
You talked about cracking down on children behavior, teenagers' behavior by affecting the parents possibly. Would that happen to us not officially yet, but for parents who may be watching this and maybe working 2 hospital jobs during the summer, where kids going, but now kids are out of school. Now they don't know maybe where kids going to be in the daytime. When in school they knew that their kids would be at least helping out before in some ways. So what if you have to say to parents now that their kids are out, but they may not be able to look after them and know where they are 24/7, maybe while you work jobs in the morning and also the evening?
Well, I can't. Here's what I would tell you that, that's a good question. I can't tell people how. I can only suggest, right? I know that I too was a single parent that worked a lot of hours, and my older kids had to make sure they were home looking after the younger boys, right? I've said this many times before. When kids get a certain age, I believe This is just my belief, so, spend it how you want to spend it. I think that when kids get a certain age, we should have still instilled a certain code in them, a certain walk of life, a pattern of behavior. That's just my belief. But what I will tell you is that I cannot, in good conscience, let people who are out enjoying themselves be subject to any type of tomfoolery. I can't let them be subject to any type of would-be criminal activity, right? So the police department, the district attorney, we have an obligation to the entire community. And I understand that there are hardships, but at the same time, every decision creates a condition.
Is there anything that obviously we have to ask this, is there anything that you want to say regarding the multi-million-dollar deficit that we learned from County Commission Chair Don Marvey last night about the SROs? I know that you touched on a little bit, but is there anything
That I want to say,
Yes.
I'd probably say a lot, but in full respect, what I would tell you is that I'm not the bean counter. I'm not. I have to operate within what the dollar amount that the commissioners give me. But what I would tell you is this. I mean, why you did this to me. But what I will tell you is this, is that the community, there are certain things that have to be at the base of a community for it to stand. Education, the security of a community. You can't have a thriving community if the community is not safe. You cannot. You can't have a thriving education system if there's an issue in our schools. You can't. What I will tell you is that anytime there is low education, there's high incarceration. These are not Bobby facts, it's my friend Google. These are statistical data. What I would tell you is that all I can do is ask for the money, And I have this conversation all the time. I answer to the people and God. I don't bite my tongue. I'm never going to do that. I'm too old. All I'm going to tell you is that some things don't make good sense. S-E-N-S-E. It make good sense, C-E-N-T-S, but it don't make good sense to the entire community. If we can spend money, and I don't know why, but if we can spend money on pickleball courts when people can't buy dill pickles, if we can spend money on collodiums and a lot of other things, then we can spend money on things that matter. And so I said it before, you don't do me any favors by doing that. You have an obligation to make sure that people in this community have what they need. Bottom line. And it's my job to speak truth. The people elected me to speak truth. And that's why it's structured. I don't answer to them. I answer to you all and God every day. And so I've shared my thoughts on that. I'll go next week and I'll share them again. But at the end of the day, they control the money. And that's a good question for them that you ought to ask them. That's a great question that you ought to ask them.
Sheriff, I know you said you're a bean counter, but would you support raising property taxes in the county to get some of the things that you want from the sheriff's office?
See, that's a great question. Here's what I would say to you, understand, is that we as a community, we've got to ask a very good question as a community. And know that we're going somewhere that we didn't start at. But the community has to say, what do we want? Do we want to support bells and whistles? Or do we want to support things that sustain our community? Do we want to support education? Do we want to support law enforcement? Do we want to support teachers? Do we want to support the things that attract you to this community? What I can tell you is that this county has grown about 25,000 people since I came into office, right? So what attracts people to a community? The safety, the schools. Those are the things that attract people to a community. So what I will tell you is simple. If we have gotten to a point to we have not been keeping up, then guess what? You have no choice but to raise it, because if you don't raise it, you're going to fall behind. You're going to be remaining in the same place. And anything that is not progressive becomes stagnant, and eventually it will become irrelevant. And we've got to realize that as a community. guess what? The tax is going to affect me like they do the next person. If it means increasing my taxes 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, let's go. If it will get teachers what they need, the police department, the fire department, and those that sustain our society, I'm for it. Yes.
Sheriff, what's your relationship like right now with the Forsyth County school system in light of this situation?
My relationship, I still love the school. I'm a product of the public schools. I have children that are prodigal. My hope is that they get what they need, because here's the thing that you got to realize, that whatever has happened up there, it's going to affect children. It's going to affect the quality of the education. And guess who will be affected the most? The same people that are being affected now. The have-nots. And so, of course, I'm concerned, just like anybody in this room should be concerned about what's going on, because those are our children. And here's the thing, as I said, if you don't educate them, what you going to do? What will happen? School serves a lot of purposes to a lot of kids. They feed them. They give them social skills. So of course I'm concerned, like everybody in this room. We should be focused on resolving this issue. You can't keep talking about cut here, robbing Peter to pay Paul, putting more people in the classroom. You know, I'm not an educator, but I do have a little bit of logic. You know, if you're having an issue in the classroom now, managing what you got, and then you increase the size, you can't keep taking away. We got to reward the people, the teachers. You got to give them what they need. And the people of this community have got to stand up and say, this is what we want. Got to demand this. The same way that you all come for me when you think something is happening here, that's the same energy you've got to be given across the street, but we didn't come in for that. But there's a sore spot with me. I'm sorry. Thank you, because I was finna go preaching. Thank you.
Thank you for everyone for the questions. Thank you to our speakers. If you have any more questions, please contact at media@fcso.us. Thank you.
Well, I have a question. You mentioned that.
You can contact us at media@fcso.us.
You fan. Go ahead, ask the question. Thank you. You mentioned that you can offer young people jobs here at the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office.
Well, when I say job, let me clarify that.
Okay.
So I shouldn't have said that, Bryce. We're doing it next week. But anyway, June 9th. So what we have is that we have went out into the community, the schools, right? Mm-hmm. And we have secured 25, 30 kids that'll be coming to various places during the day, right? And every Friday we will pay them $100, not from the budget, okay? It's from money that we have raised. So please quote me. It won't be from the budget, so we don't want them to say that he done added some more money, right?
You said various jobs. Are you talking about?
When I say jobs, I mean we're going to give them, they're going to come here and we're going to pay them like it's a job. Okay. In other words, they'll be coming to leadership classes. They'll be coming to skill set classes. They'll be coming to math classes, reading classes.
Okay.
And so I said like a job because we're paying them.
Okay, that clears that up. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We good. I appreciate y'all for coming. Thank you all. Have a good day. And again, thank you.